Hey there, my name's Mark and I am the world's laziest non-binary person. Today, I just wanted to jump on here and tell you a bit about why I am so unbelievably lazy in my identity. This is not defining the place where we talk about sexuality and gender in a totally open way. So I'm a classic non-binary person, right? I don't diverge from the definition of what it is, right? I don't believe that sex and gender and sex characteristics and gender expression exist in a binary. Just like every single part of the human experience, hair color, eye color, skin tone, height, weight, personality, every single thing in the human body and mind is on a spectrum. So sex and gender are the same. They're just generalizations and categories that we've imposed upon what is a really diverse spectrum of traits. So that's what I believe, that's what I accept. I mean, it's the science, so I just accept that. And I don't believe that any part of my body should be used to identify me and used to make assumptions about me. I don't think that my private part should be talked about and used to identify me in society. I just think that's already weird. So I am non-binary, right? I am non-binary. However, I am really, really, really lazy with it. And the first way that I'm lazy with it is I don't care if people call me a man. I don't care if people call me a guy. And I actually call myself a man and I call myself a guy. I am non-binary, but I understand that we live in a society where people are going to call me a guy. And I know that there are a lot of people for whom that really bothers them, and I really, really respect that. For me, it just doesn't. I keep expecting to be angry about this and I'm just not. I don't mind. I understand that that's the way that society is, and I don't mind. I'm a bit like a flexitarian when it comes to gender. So you know how a flexitarian will normally eat vegetarian, but then if meat happens to be on offer, then they're not going to make a huge fuss about it. That's me with gender. So if someone calls me they, them, and treats me as non-binary and doesn't use gender terms for me, I'm like, yay, I love you, this is fab, this is ideal, yeah? So that's what I would choose for myself. However, I understand that gender is all around and there are going to be situations where people will call me a man and all the rest of it. And so if that's all that's on offer, I'll take it. I don't mind. The other thing I think is that I'm really just tired. I don't think I have the energy to go around correcting people all the time. I feel like being an LGBT person in general and being also a neurodivergent person in general is really, really tiring. And to think that I would leave my house every day and have to have that battle with every single person that I engage with, girl, I don't know if I could do that. I really, really respect and look up to people who can, but maybe I don't know. I don't have the strength. And I think that's okay to say. I don't have the strength to do that. I use he and they pronouns, so I do he/they. Basically, that's a complete cop-out as well. Because what I'm saying is I like they, and you can call me they, and I answer to they, but also I totally get that you're just going to call me he, him anyway, and I can't handle just having to have people not call me he and him, because look at me. Is that wrong? Am I lazy? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. By the way, if you would like help navigating your gender identity, then I provide one-on-one coaching. You can check the links below. I would love to see you. And we also have a Patreon group where you can meet other people who are similar to you. You can write in questions to me and I'll answer you 24/7. And you can also get lots of exclusive content. So join us on patreon.com/notdefining or come for some coaching. There's plenty of resources there for you. I think the other thing about it is that I think I never had gender dysphoria. And it's important to say that there are some non-binary people who do suffer from gender dysphoria. Like they have a fundamental discomfort, in their physical form or in the gender identity that they have been assigned. I've never really had that. Thank goodness, because, as I understand, it's very, very, very difficult and painful for a lot of people. But I was assigned male at birth, and I didn't really have that story. I definitely didn't have the story of wanting to be a woman. I kind of was okay with being a boy, with being a guy, with being a man. It was all right. I think the thing with me was that I just didn't understand why I couldn't do girl things as well. Why couldn't I play with Action Man and Barbie? I'm also bisexual as well. So I wanted all things. I didn't understand why it had to be exclusive, right? And the way that I present now as well, I have short hair, facial hair. I don't wear makeup and things like that unless I'm doing drag. And, I kind of just look like a standard guy, whatever. But, I wear nail polish, for example. So I guess I am a real he, they. I'm kind of non-binary, but I kind of connect with my masculine side as well. The other thing about it is that I do understand that physically I am on the masculine side of the spectrum. So my physical traits are more masculine. And actually I like that. I like my body. I like my physical form. I like being physically masculine. Although what's inside is genderless, or gender fabulous, as I like to call it. I like my physical form being masculine, and I enjoy how that feels and what that can do and how that kind of is. And I think coming along with that is an important point, actually, which is that I understand that because I have been conditioned and identified as a man, and because people clock me as a man, that brings with it a certain amount of privilege as well. I will have been given a lot more opportunities. I will have been treated a lot differently over the course of my life to a lot of women or people who assume to be women. And so that inequality and that privilege is something that I acknowledge and I own, and so I think that's another element of it. In my non-binary identity, I still want to acknowledge the privilege that I have as someone who has been brought up as a man and who walks in this world as a man. So that's another important thing. And then finally, I just feel like, look at this whole account, not defining. This is a place where we don't define, I like the idea of just being me. I like the idea of not having to fit inside a box. I like the idea of not having to explain myself to people. And non-binary is such a wonderful, wonderful, open category, because it's like it's saying I'm not defining, I'm not putting myself in a category. I'm not in a category. I'm non-binary. I'm not. And so almost non-binary is like not defining. It's so broad. That's why I love bisexuality or multisexuality, because it's like you're not categorizing. And so the idea of having to kind of identify as non-binary and fit inside a box and do everything that other people are doing and like have a right answer to it and be this thing. No, no, like you do not have to fit inside a box. You do not have to fit inside a category. You do not have to be like other non-binary people. You do not have to be anything that you don't want to be. I mean, in reality, I could be a demi-boy. Yeah, that's a gender label, like a very kind of niche gender label that means that you're kind of non-binary, but you identify somewhat with the masculine. I'm probably that. But I don't want to go around calling myself a demi-boy because not many people understand what that means. And I also don't feel like I need to do that. I am me. I am fluid. I am non-binary. I am just whoever I am. And I don't think people need to constantly be told that. If they're interested, if they're community, great, let's chat about it. Most people just don't care. So that is how I feel. I hope that that's helpful. I just love on this channel just to talk from my heart and just say how I feel about things. Like, do you resonate? Do you have experiences like this? I would love, love, love to know. If you like this content, then please subscribe because we've got loads more coming out. If you would like to see more about my non-binary identity, then check out this video. And listen, thank you so much for being here. I will speak to you again very, very soon. Bye for now.